legendary friends. I'm with amazing Eli Huang. How are you today, Ali?
Very good. We're in the middle of Chinatown.
I know. And what is that artifact behind you, Ali?
It's Hello Kitty.
I know. I think we're living the stereotypes now, aren't we, Ali?
Oh, we have to be. You always love the stereotypes when we're down in Chinatown and interviewing a Chinese medicine practitioner.
Yes, and I'm married to a lovely Asian woman with half Asian
right.
kids. Now, I know you're a busy lady. I just want to grab you for a minute and talk to you about intermittent fasting. I'm into it. Everyone is. Tell us what you think, Ali. We're all ears.
Well, I can see just from your example, you can see it's working, amazing. You can see results very quickly. Well, look, my take on intermittent fasting is, especially for menopausal women, for even people that are looking to trim a little bit of weight quickly, especially for men, it's really important we're actually taking the time when we're not eating for a large window of time. Because we forget that every night, sort of after dinner, you're snacking, you're eating, and our body is constantly taking in food, liquids, calories. When our body would love a space of time, generally I would say 14 to 16 hours, when you're not eating anything, right? You could have some water or some herbal tea, but when you're not putting caloric food into the body, you're allowing your body to regenerate. It's going through a system called autophagy, where it's getting rid of all the toxic cells and any unwanted toxins and breaking down, anything that it doesn't need. So it's eating away all the sort of toxic cells. But that way it allows your body to clean up. You could lose a bit of weight. You could also be healthier because your body is actually rejuvenating. It's allowing the body to develop better and healthier cells. So when you go through a long period of time without eating, you're allowing that body to just rest, rejuvenate, re-energize, and clean up. So I would say that if you can, the last meal of each day should be 7 p.m, no later, and then doing a 12 to 14 hour window. And if you're going to sleep at about 11, 10 o'clock, you definitely want about a 4-hour window from your last meal from when you're going to bed. So you're allowing your body to digest the food so that when we're going to sleep, we're not having a whole full stomach with a lot of food in it. Because when we're going to sleep, your body wants to regenerate, and that's when you want your body to be completely, processed of all the foods that you've had for dinner. So I would definitely suggest a good 12 to 14 hour window, minimum 12 hours, where you're not eating anything. That allows your body to really kick in and be healthy, detox, and regenerate fully.
That's fascinating because one interesting experience. So our lockdown ended in September last year. So as we now, it's late February now. And I remember when I started, and thanks for your advice, by the way, when you gave me the encouragement to do some intermittent fasting, and I had a big sugar addiction then, I remember, right? I don't have sugar addiction anymore, I broke that. But what I remember was the first few days of fasting, all sorts of horrible stuff came out of me. And we say eftology. What was that term? Can you tell us a bit more about that? And what happened to me when I started fasting? What happened to me biochemically? All this weird stuff happened to me.
Your cells basically are used to you having that sugar spike, right? So say you're eating, you've told me today you're eating 11:30 at night. So when we have that dinner and then we're doing a dessert, right? It's very common. People think, I need a dessert after dinner. And then it's usually 2 hours or an hour, they're doing a big sugar hit. It could be ice cream. It could be a bowl of fruit. You're spiking your sugar levels, and especially just before bed, it's not a good idea. Your body wants to be resting. So your body takes about 2 to 3 hours to digest the food. So when it's used to having that sugar hit or just a food hit every, couple of hours, and when you go to bed, feeling grumpy, like you want to eat something, it's used to that. It's like a coffee hit, right? It's like anything. When you're giving your body that food, it's used to having that, especially if you develop it as a pattern. So when you stop eating, it'll take your body, like coming off caffeine or coming off sugar, it'll take your body a little bit of time to readjust to what it knows as a balance. And then that way you're going to feel more normal. But it's like anything, your body will take that time to detox, go through a change process for it to come out the other side, because you're completely changing the routine when you're eating food. So your body likes routine, but it takes time. If you're changing to a new routine, it's going to take that adaptive process.
So just to understand for anyone listening who's in a fasting like me, so when you start fasting, or when you are fasting, I should say, your body kicks out toxins. Tell us a little bit more about that. That's it's true, but I'd love to hear your take on it. It's definitely happened to me.
So also, just not even with the 14-hour difference in terms of fasting, there are different rules with fasting, and you've got to do what sort of works. You can start with, if you don't want to go exactly 14 hours, you could start with even 12 hours, 10 hours, right? But there's also different fasting. Some people might do like a 2-5, right? They might eat for 5 days and actually fast for 2. Some people might actually eat in a short window of time. So they might only eat, say, between the hours of 10 and 6, right? So whatever it is, there's a few different tweaks that you can do to fasting. But what happens is when you're fasting, you're allowing that body to get rid of all the unnecessary wanted food that you've been eating, to detox, right? All the stuff that you've been eating, to process anything. When you're putting something into the body, your body goes through a process of detoxification, of digestion. And when that happens, when you give your body that break and it's completely finished with that process, it's allowing the new cells, it's allowing that body to now regenerate with better, healthier cells. So yeah, you're getting rid of all the bad toxic cells that was attached to all the food and all of that you've been eating. So it allows your body to basically go through a regenerative process, like when we sleep. So when we sleep or when we're not eating, it allows your body to go through a regenerative process. So I definitely don't advise going to sleep with a big belly full of food, because that's just working your body as you're trying to sleep.
Got it. So during lockdown at 11:45 p.m, I'd sit there and eat chips and chocolate and play video games. Obviously, that's not recommended in light of our conversation.
No, and that's probably why you see the after effects of lockdown, right? Because when that happens, yes, you can see the effects. But now when you reverse it, right, you start seeing the changes. You feel more energy, right? So some of the benefits of fasting is you'll feel more energetic.
Yeah, totally.
You'll trim some of that visceral fat. So the visceral fat is all of that fat that is sitting around the belly. And especially if you're eating a late dinner and then going to sleep within 2 hours of eating, you'll feel that fat will literally just be sitting around the visceral area. So buttocks, around the abdomen.
Yeah.
And that's unhealthy fat, right? The visceral fat is that toxic, yellow, sludgy fat. That is not what we want, right? We want sort of, to get rid of that toxic fat layer. So that leads to chronic inflammation. So when we're able to reduce the calories, reduce the time that we're eating, we're allowing our body to just detox and to get rid of all that toxic visceral fat and to trim down any unwanted, things that we don't need in the body, like visceral fat.
Brilliant. And we're at your clinic before, and your amazing dad, who is an amazing, leader in the Chinese medicine space, he said that I looked like a Shaolin monk. I was really impressed.
That is a very good compliment because Shaolin monks are all muscle, full of strength, and really healthy, so that is actually a very good compliment coming from an Asian man.
Yeah, okay. So all I got to do is learn Kung Fu and get my David Carradine moves up, and then we're there.
Have your six-pack and, break a brick with your head.
There we go. Oh, no. Ali, thank you. I know you're a busy lady, and just to follow up as well, I know people can find you on LinkedIn, Facebook and more, can they?
Yes, that's right. You can find me on LinkedIn under Eli Huang, or my Linktree /Eli Huang.
Ali, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.